Hello there, another video. New stories from Ethiopia, Eritrea and Sudan. Firstly, Eritrea is in talks with Russia to purchase a wide range of weapons. It's not a rumor. A Russian government official confirmed this today. Details of the statement of Russian government official. It seems that Isas Afwerki won the heart of Russian president and Russian government. Free wheat for Eritrea and now weapons. Weapons may be at a subsidized price. Secondly, viewers, Tigray were on Friday. Thousands of Tigray fighters discharged from service. Tigray fighters protested. Several arrests were made by police. TDF members were not arrested, but those who were recording the protest, those who were recording videos, those who were taking pictures, they were arrested. Some were released who had connections and some are still in prison reportedly. Who were released? Thirdly, Amhara region of Ethiopia, Fano fighters took control of another town today in Lasta. The town is situated between Sikota and Lalibela. This is the fourth time in around 1 month that in this area, in North Wallo, Waghimra, South Gondar, border areas, we have seen Fano fighters freely enter a town. And in all these 4 cases, no one was there in these towns to stop Fano fighters. Lastly, Sudan, viewers. We know that IGAD a few weeks ago formed a committee of 4 African leaders to mediate between Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese military. The committee was led by Kenyan President William Ruto, but Sudanese military rejected the Kenyan presidency of the committee. Sudanese military took a position that Kenya should not lead the committee. Now, some diplomatic sources are claiming that South Sudan's Salva Kiir opposed Kenyan presidency of the committee, and he was the main man who convinced the Sudanese military should reject the committee if Ruto is the head of the committee. Firstly, viewers, Eritrean president is in Russia. He attended a 2-day Russia-Africa summit there. Several African leaders were there. Second Russia-Africa summit. And Isas Afwerki spoke there. He spoke about the need for a new world order. More religious than the Pope, more patriotic than the king, he seemed, when he proposed establishment of mechanisms for an alternative world order. Flattered Putin, though he said he was not flattering, but basically he was flattering. He said, lead this historic mission for survival of humanity. This is your responsibility. You have made mistakes, but now please lead the humanity. And it seems Isas managed to win the hearts of Russians. Putin announced free wheat for Eritrea and other African countries like Somalia, Zimbabwe, Mali too. And now it is being confirmed by Russian government officials that Eritrea wants to purchase a wide range of weapons from Russia. So confirmation is coming from Russian side. Dmitry Shugaev is head of Russian Federal Service for Military and Technical Cooperation. And he talked to Sputnik News, Russian news agency. And there he confirmed that that Eritrea was interested in purchasing wide range of weapons from Russia. He did not share details of which types of weapons, but wide range of weapons. It means a big arms deal between Russia and Eritrea is on the cards. It might not be made public, but the confirmation from Russian government official is enough to indicate that Isaias Afwerki's recent visits to Russia, second visit because he went to Russia in May, then to attend this summit. His two visits are focused on bilateral relations, including purchase of weapons from Russia. 2 points I want to make. Eritrea, a sovereign country, has every right to buy weapons from Russia. And already I think most of the weaponry being used by Eritrean forces are Russian weapons. Tanks, artillery pieces, MLRS, guns, everything I think is made in Russia, which is used by Eritrean military. So obviously Eritrea would like to keep its military well equipped. But we were hoping that after Pretoria deal, Isaias Afwerki's focus would be on economy, not on military. He's been saying for decades that TPLF was a threat to Eritrea, that Eritrea was trapped, and attempt a way to trap Eritrea by involving Eritrea into regional conflicts. Eritrea was forced to be involved in regional affairs, and that Eritrean economy suffered. Sanctions were imposed. Now, one peace deal has been signed, and TPLF is no more a major threat to Eritrea. Why is that still Eritrean president is focused on purchasing more weapons for his military? Shouldn't he be focused on getting something for his people? Jobs, industry, agriculture, mining, tourism, money. Shouldn't he try to stop the flow of Eritrean youth from Eritrea? Is he still focused on the strength, on improving the strength of his military? Is he still thinking like a guerrilla fighter, which this is what he was when he started his work? Later, he became the president. So, is he a statesman now, or is he still thinking like a guerrilla fighter, like a soldier? We were expecting that he would be focusing more on economy. Though he spoke about bilateral agreements in different fields of economy with Russia. He visited China too in May, I think, and there he spoke about cooperation for industrialization in China. But I don't think Eritrea has so many resources. If Eritrea is interested in purchasing a wide range of weapons, how can it build big projects in Eritrea? For some time, Eritrea will have to decrease its defense spending. It will have to focus on economy. That is the way forward. But it seems he sees a chance. He's seeing a chance that at this point of time, by flattering Putin, he can buy weapons maybe at reduced prices from Russia. Free wheat, weapons at reduced prices won't change the lives of people in Eritrea. What is needed is some big projects, investments, industrialization, to uplift people from poverty. We are hoping that his recent China-Russia visits might be an indication of his plans to strengthen the economy. Let's see what happens. Too early to say, but confirmation is coming from Russian government. Let's see which types of weapons are bought by Eritrea, and how much is going to be spent by Eritrea on the purchase of weapons. The diaspora should ask questions. Eritrean diaspora remittances support Eritrean government. They should put pressure upon Eritrean government. That diaspora remittances should be spent on industrialization, on creation of jobs, not on purchase of more weapons for Eritrean defense force. Let's see. I think pro-government diaspora can play a role if it tries to unite itself to confront the Eritrean government officials. Secondly, viewers, Tigray, where on Friday there was a big protest. Thousands of TDF members protested in different areas, especially in Mekelle, different parts of Mekelle. Discharged, disabled Tigray fighters given just 6,600 birrs to each of these TDF members and relieved from service. Protesting against small amount of money, against lavish lifestyle of TPLF, TDF leadership. The police, local city government, TPL officials, they talked to TDF members, talks were held. Protest was dispersed. People there were recording the protest. They were making videos, taking pictures. Those who were recording the protest, recording videos, taking pictures, they were arrested by police. And most of them were local journalists, people from Dadabut Media and some others. Dozens were arrested reportedly. TDF members were not arrested. Those who were recording the protests, they were arrested. Dadabut Media journalists were released. It's a pro-TPL, pro-ruling party media. Its media workers were released. But several others are still in prisons, not released so far. Tigray interim government is deliberately suppressing the information flow. It does not want truth to come out. It does not want international media to report the plight of TDF members. It shouldn't have happened. That is why we saw that Tigray TV, DWTV both boycotted. They did not cover the protest in Mekelle. Obviously, it was under instructions from the interim government that the two news outlets did not cover a big event in a big incident in capital Mekelle. So, private media journalists, it means, are under restrictions too. They cannot work freely. Let's hope that the Tigray interim government releases those who were arrested on Friday. I have been saying Tigray should be a role model for Ethiopian federal government. If Tigray keeps on putting pressure upon independent journalists and activists, how can it criticize the federal government? For the last 2 years, Tigray leadership has been criticizing PM Abiy's government, that PM Abiy's government was violating liberties, civil liberties, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of information in Ethiopia. Now Tigray doing the same, Tigray interim government. Thirdly, viewers, Amhara Fano fighters were seen in another town today, patrolling the streets of the town, people welcoming them, freely moving around the town, no militia, no police, no ENDF. Fano fighters seem to be in control of this town, which is situated between Lalibela and Sikota. The town is situated along the main road which connects Lalibela with Sikota. Askatima is the name of this town. It's in Lasta, I think. This is the fourth incident showing Fano fighters in control of a town in this area. In Waghemra, North Wollo, South Gondar border areas. We saw them in Vagaltana. Then we saw Fano fighters in Gashina 3 days ago. And then yesterday they were in Maket, Garagara. I showed a video from Garagara where Fano fighters were having a meeting with locals. And now in Askatim. Which Fano faction is operating in this area? East Amhara Fano. I think it's not Mere Buddhajo's Fano faction. In this area, I think Colonel Muhabao Fantahun and Mogus Zegai are operating. Their Fano faction is based in this Gondar, Waghemra, Wollo border areas. Mere Buddhajo's Fano fighters are mainly based to the east and west of Kobo, Gobiye, Zobel. But in this area, I think Mogus Zigai and Muhabao Fantahun are operating, two colonels. And in this area, we have seen that Fano fighters are in a very strong position. They're able to storm cities, towns. There is no large-scale deployment of Ethiopian National Defense Force in the towns and cities of the zones. That is why Fano fighters easily storm towns and cities. And local administration totally collapsed. It has collapsed. It is working under Fano's orders now, obviously, because Fano fighters are holding meetings in Gashina. They held meetings with locals, with Amhara police, regional police, militia members in Garagara as well. So Fano is a new reality now. It means administrative reality. It means that regional, local level government officials, administrators, they cannot go against Fano's orders in these zones. Lastly, viewers, Sudan, where we know that IGAD tried to mediate between Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese military a few weeks ago when IGAD formed a committee of 4 African leaders. IGAD announced that William Ruto, Kenyan president, would lead the committee, but that initiative was rejected by Sudanese military, which objected to Kenyan presidency of the committee. It did not want Kenya to head the committee. Now it is being reported by some news sources based on the input of some diplomats that it was Salva Kiir, South Sudan's president, who was a member of the IGAD's 4-member committee, who did not want William Ruto to head the committee. And Salva Kiir contacted Sudanese military. Salva Kiir is a key player in Sudan because he has connections with the Sudan People's Liberation Army, Abdulaziz Al-Hilo group, maybe with Malik Aga group as well. Some Sudanese armed groups have links with South Sudan's government. That is why South Sudan's President Salva Kiir contacted Sudanese Army Chief Al-Burhan. Salva Kiir wanted to head the committee. And that is why Sudanese military then rejected William Ruto as the head of the committee, saying that Kenya had links with Rapid Support Forces. How can these African countries mediate between RSF and Sudanese military when they're not united, they're not sincere, and they have problems in their own countries too? What is happening in South Sudan? Everyone knows. Salva Kiir, Riek Machar fighting, no elections so far, no unified military so far. So how can South Sudan be a major player? It's a player, but it cannot single-handedly mediate between RSF and Sudan military. Main players, those who have money, who have power, like US and Saudi Arabia, talks in Jeddah, could resume, it seems, if Sudan military is ready to make some concessions. Thank you for watching.